But I told Brent, I said, if he takes an official visit here, it's going to be on the back end. I said, if he's not coming here, and so, he came, and his family came. And the kid ended up committing to Clemson, and we were the only place he didn't officially visit. But he was interested enough and had followed our program enough that he wanted to come see it. And so that's just my personal philosophy, because, again, I think when a guy comes unofficially, then he, to me, is sending you a message that, you know what, hey, I'm interested in Clemson. Now, he may hate it when he gets here, but at least he came on his own. And so that's just my personal philosophy. And so I told the staff, I said, I guarantee we'll have 20 commits by August 1. Just watch. And we did. We had more than that by that time. And we unbelievable young people. So it's not that it's just, to me, it's how I protect our program. It's how I protect our culture. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I want to be Clemson. And Clemson's not for everybody. I understand that and I get that. But I want it to be a two-way street. And I want them to want to be here. For Brighton Constantine to jump in the car from Baton Rouge and come all the way with his mom, multiple times. Man, that's investment. That's commitment. I mean, there's intention there. It's been real easy for me to throw them on a plane in April and fly them in and put them up and all this stuff, And then for me too, I just want more time to evaluate. And so that's kind of it's just how we do it. Now, 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had any choice, but our program was at a different place 10 years ago than we are right now.
I have a two-part question. One on a prospect, Taquan Johnson. The other one, is this class going to be the most challenging class for your PA announcer to announce?
That may be the case. Puma-chan. I think there's going to be a lot of nicknames. E.T., Rook, Ro. I've had so much fun with that one. That's his last name. Ro.
Can you say his first name?
Heck, Rook. Because Rook is the middle part of, there's like a part over here and a part over here, but Rook's in the middle. And so I have no idea how to say his first name. I just call him Rook. That's what his family calls him. That's what his teammates call him. I verified that when I went to his house. But he's something. But we got some unique, and Joseph Ngata, and we got some neat names coming in this class. Levante Bentley. So it'll be a good group. For sure.
Going back to Taquan there, whenever I talk to
Taquan, yeah.
It seems like he's a Christian Wilkins light almost. He's class president or whatever he wants to do.
Well, that's a very good assessment. Yeah, he's a different type player than Christian. He's not going to go play DN like Christian. I'm not putting him at tailback like Christian. He's more of a true inside, big-bodied thumper in there, but really good player. But he's a unique story. If you've really covered him and gotten to know him, he's got an interesting story. And I kind of fell in love with the kid when the first time I met him. And he came down here with his family, and he's got a little sister. Man, she is a trip. She is something else. But he's got this huge personality, and he has a really unique perspective for an 18-year-old kid. And I think that speaks to his experience that he's had growing up and challenges that he's had. And so I'm excited about adding him in here. He'll come this summer, but a really talented prospect for sure.
Dabo, is the fact that you only signed one in-state kid more of a reflection of your expanded recruiting footprint, or just that there weren't enough local guys to kind of?
Yeah, both. I'd say both. I'd say for us, we're always inside out. I mean, we vet everything from the inside out. At the end of the day, we want to sign the best player, best fit, that allows us to compete at the highest level. That's what we're charged to do. And this particular year in state, it wasn't a great year for us, comparatively to some of the other kids that we had evaluated. But we were very thorough in state. Then there was a couple kids that we would have loved to have had that just we weren't the right fit for them. But we were very thorough inside. We South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia we recruit as one state. And that's where it all starts for us, and then we go from there. And then you have situations where people reach out to you, and you're like, okay, well, if you're interested, let's evaluate. We didn't just go out to California, for example. We had somebody reach out to us, and we're like, okay, well, let's check it out. And well, he's a pretty good player here. Okay, well, is he really interested? Well, and then we go from there. And then kid comes more than once. He's pretty sincere. You start learning about who they are and doing your due diligence. But so a little bit of both this year for us in state. And there's going to be a lot of guys signed, I think, Division I from South Carolina. It's awesome to see young people get opportunities. But we got the guys that we felt like we needed this year. And again, a couple other guys in state that we'd love to have had, but we just didn't get. We weren't the right fit for them.
To expand on that, the recruiting footprint since you've gotten here and since you guys have had this run of success has really expanded. Can you relate and tell us any examples that we don't know about of the recruit reaching out or a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, if you just look at, we had 14 states, and we signed. Now Florida's we got 6 guys from Florida, and that's a state that's always been good to Clemson. And Georgia, we signed 7. Alabama, we signed 2. We signed the #1 player in the state of Alabama last year, in Justin Ross. And we're going back, and we got a lot of ties to that state, and we have a big brand in that state, obviously. So, and then we signed one from everywhere. I mean, North Carolina, we got Landon. He's from right up the road. Tennessee to go get Kane Patterson. Here's a kid that was originally committed to Ohio State, and we didn't offer him early, and then he committed to Ohio State, and his recruiting was over. And then all of a sudden, he opened his recruiting back up, and we were able to get in there, and he came over a couple times, and it was a great fit. And then Brighton, Brighton's a perfect example. We hadn't signed anybody from Louisiana until we signed Travis. I had never signed anybody from Michigan. We signed Mario out of Missouri last year, and then we go back this year. So I think it's just – but Brighton's a perfect example. Here's a kid that I think expressed an interest in Clemson. And so, we'll go wherever. It doesn't matter. We've signed a kid out of Hawaii before. We'll go anywhere that a kid has an interest in Clemson if they're good enough player, but they're also the type of person that we're interested in bringing in our program. But I think E.T. is another example over in Missouri. I think he reached out, and some of them, we have all of our staff has a primary area that we're responsible for, but then our support staff will reach out to some of these national prospects that maybe aren't in our main footprint, and just kind of, check the oil a little bit. Hey, is there any interest at all, any reciprocation at all? And if there is, then one of our full-time staff guys will take it from there. And I think we've had that on numerous occasions. I think these guys, like I said, for the past 10 years, they've grown up watching Clemson. And so they're very interested. And there is no long distance anymore. This is a very small world. I went out to L.A. For 24 hours a week or so ago, and we were going to the Lakers game, and we were staying right across the street, and we're literally walking across the street. I met 3 Clemson grads, not together, 3 different spots, just walking across the street to the Staples Center. There's no long distance anymore. The world is small. These kids all know each other. They see everything. And so, I think and then obviously the success on and off the field has really created a lot of interest from a lot of guys who I think recognize the fit here.
Have the least amount of decommitments over the past 5 cycles, I think, of any team in the country. How much pride do you guys take in your retention rate?
Well, a lot, and we don't get many decommitments, and I think part of that is because I'm not trying to commit guys. I try to keep them from committing. That may sound crazy to hear that, but that's really my philosophy. And the coaches know that. They've been in the meetings with me enough time to know exactly what I'm going to say. So when a guy's ready to commit and he's in my office, he already knows what I'm going to say before I say it. But I don't want a guy to commit unless he knows that that's what he wants to do. There's nothing wrong with just going through the recruiting process. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just believe if you're transparent and you are just honest with people and just tell them, hey, here's what commitment means, and if you bless you, if you can't if we can't agree on what that definition of commitment is, well then let's just keep recruiting. Now nobody gets mad. We don't have any drama. Hey, if it works out, it works out. But if you really want to be committed and you want me to be committed to you, well then here's what it means. Now we're all on the same page with that. Hey, let's hug necks and high five and let's go on about our business. But so everybody, there's not anybody here that's recruited any different. And so we just don't have a lot of that. And then I think continuity, I mean, you see a lot of things, a lot of these decommitments, the coaches are fired or leave or whatever it may be. And you can understand when you have drastic changes like that. But, and then we don't offer a lot of people, we're very focused in the recruiting process. And this was a really challenging class because we knew we were going to have to sign a big class. But we met a lot of needs early. I mean, these 2 tight ends we're signing, man, did we need to go and sign. We needed to hit a home run, and boy, we did. These are 2 great tight ends. We needed a quarterback. I wanted a big back. And, man, Ches Malusi, golly, y'all going to love him. He's going to be a great player. We hit on